Welcome everybody. I am so excited. Y'all, it's another Wednesday and we get to talk about one of our favorite things, Plexus and our Plexus family. So we're going to talk to my sweet friend, Lindsay. She and I are going to be sharing our stories today. So tune in, sit back, grab you some agua, and let's chat for a minute. So first of all, welcome, Lindsay. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to be here.
So, sweet Lindsay, she's going to tell us a little bit about herself as we chat for the next few minutes. But I just wanted to go ahead and say I'm so thankful for you and I'm excited to be able to chat with you tonight, get to know a little bit about your story. So, my first question is, Lindsay, what made you decide to try Plexus?
Yes. Okay. So thank you, Lisa. Okay, y'all. Like she said, my name is Lindsay. I have 4 children and one on the way. At the time that I started seeing my sweet friend Julia, who was a college roommate of mine, any Alpha Gams here, chat in the box. But we lived together, and so we just had such a fun college life together. And I saw her start posting about like gut health, and I remember thinking, ooh, why does she use the word gut? Like, that's such a gross thing. Like, why did she say that? But just I saw her post things here and there, and I'll tell you a couple posts that stood out to me. Was one was this like crazy picture, like a cartoon type picture of a mom, and her hair's like disheveled, her like shirts on backwards, her jeans are all holy, and she looks like, I mean, her baggy eyes, like all the things. And it's like a little cartoon. She's at the doctor's office, and the doctor says, "I'm sorry, ma'am, you have what's called children." And it's funny, but I was like, I feel you. Because at the time I had, I had a 2.5-year-old boy, which I always say, boy mamas, one boy is the equivalent of like 4 kids because they're just busy and they're everywhere. And then I had a little one that was about 4 months old. So I just felt like I was like, ugh. And then I see her also posting all these like super fun Pinterest mom pictures and all these things that she's doing. And I'm like, how do you have the energy to take literally like 12 kids to Six Flags? Because her sister has a ton of kids and she's just like in the van, happy. All these kids are minding, they're walking in line. She's drinking a little pink drink. And I'm like, I don't want to see you, but I'm also jealous of you. Like, what is going on? And so lots of little drips, I call them, of posts. And honestly, I was just tired of feeling tired all the time. I knew that, like, well, I assumed this was my like a new normal, how you're supposed to feel. You have babies, you have little ones, you're supposed to feel tired. But I just knew deep down, like, there's got to be more than this. Like, I prayed to have children. I prayed to be a mama. Like, why am I not enjoying every single moment and in that cycle? So, honestly, I started because I saw that she just, and of course we were friends too. So I knew that she's super genuine and trustworthy and, the real deal. Right. So, I saw her, I was jealous because I wanted to feel as good as she felt. And honestly, I was kind of just sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. Right. So, that's what kind of got me interested in trying the paint and drink, first of all. And then I also saw one post of that she shared about a little boy whose oncologist had approved the products. And that really struck the, I guess, the crunchy mom chord in me, like, because there was lots of other things being posted around that time, like shrinks and weird greens and things like that just did not look really good. But I was like, an oncologist approved a 9-year-old boy to take the same stuff that she's talking about that's giving her energy to go to Six Flags and do all these amazing Pinterest crafts. Like, sign me up. So that's really what got me really interested and hooked, honestly. And so, right, I started feeling, I would say, like, I always tell people, I feel like a layer, like an onion was being peeled off, just little things. Obviously, I started for the energy to feel better. So many more things started happening with me, with my husband, with my children. My milk was I really had a hard time nursing. Anna Margaret was my little one that was nursing at the time. She had, like, I call it like the rainbow projectile, like reflux, that really I'd struggle and do all the cookies and all these things to make just this little bit of milk that looked like watered down skim milk, right? And so, and then she would spit it all up, and it's just, oh, she was
Gold.
oh my gosh, yes. And so after that, like my milk, I always say it looked like heavy cream. I mean, I wasn't doing anything like really different. I'd added my products, but it looked like heavy cream, and her reflux stopped. So, I mean, no more fussiness. She was sleeping great. I was sleeping great, which y'all, I mean, so many things. You may not even get a ton of sleep, but your quality sleep affects so much. My husband was able to get off and has been able to stay off all of his like sinus and allergy medicine that we were getting on the reg from Costco. Has not had to get that since December of 2014. I mean, he had sinus surgery and everything. So many things trickled from me just being jealous because I didn't have the energy to do the Pinterest mom things. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Lisa, for y'all, Lisa and I go way back to where her almost senior, her precious boy Luke is going to be a senior this year. I had the honor of teaching him in kindergarten, and those precious brown little puppy dog eyes, he was the sweetest thing. But so that's how we kind of connected initially. But Lisa, she is a nurse, a full-time nurse. She's a wealth of knowledge. Like, we're always constantly asking her things because she's just she's nurse smart, but she breaks it down for you to where like the cookies are on the bottom shelf. So Lisa, you know so much about just prescriptions and all these little things. What was your biggest surprise after taking Plexus for a while?
Yeah, so I started because you, sweet friend, were posting about gut health as well. And for anybody that's known me for more than a nanosecond, they know that in nursing school, we were never taught about gut health, sugar balance, getting to the root of systemic inflammation. And a lot of people, even now in the healthcare field, still are not getting to the root of the issue. So I kind of mirror what you were saying, that Lindsay, that you were saying, when you become a mom, especially with little kids, and you're working all the time, or you just feel just like you're burning the candle at both ends, and you just feel strung out. You just feel like, well, this is just the way it's supposed to be. And with the 2 sinus surgeries that I'd already had, the 2 upper GIs, the 2 colonoscopies, all these prescriptions, chronic sinus infections, IBS, gluten intolerance, lactose intolerance. And, I saw my patients going through this, and my coworkers, my colleagues, my fellow doctors and nurses, my family, being put on prescription after prescription. And I just thought, well, that's just the way that it is. And so, I tried all the things, I went the traditional route of prescriptions and surgeries, and nothing is wrong with those things. But after a while, after I was still doing all those things, I still felt the same. I wasn't getting better. So my aha moment was, if you keep doing the same thing, are you going to get different results? And so you were posting, and the fact that you trusted Julia, that's really what resonates with me, because any one of us that share about these products, we are not, I did not go to business school. I did not go to salesperson school. I did not go to, I don't have, I'm a nurse, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. That's all that I know. But you and I both know, if we find, some earrings that we think are really super cute, we're going to share about it. And I trusted you, you trusted Julia. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna look into this. And at first, if you remember, I was really hesitant, because I was like, no, I am not going to be, crunching on some bark from a tree, and I am not going to, go make up less, I'm not gonna, whatever. So I was not crunchy at all. Most nurses aren't. That's just not how we were trained. And I don't think that's to anyone's fault. I think that we just know what we know. And I think that we don't know what we don't know. So all that to be said, I started because my gut health, no one ever said, let's get to the root of your problems. But after going my own way and trying my own thing, and trying to do it my way, I decided to give it a try. And what surprised me was that when you get to the root of your issues of gut health, excuse me, of sugar balance and the or sugar imbalance, and then systemic inflammation. Sorry. That really houses the majority of our health issues that so many of us overlook. And we assume that these band-aids of prescriptions and therapies and surgeries and things like that, no one wants to take the time, because we are a cookie cutter society and we are a I want it now society. I mean, dadgum Amazon Prime getting here in 2 days, that's not fast enough. So some people want to pay more to get it here in a day. We want our health to show up in a day. We want our bodies to show up in a day. We want our mental health to show up in a day. We want it to be fixed now. It's a microwavable mentality. You put something in the microwave and 45 seconds later, you got dinner. So I've really had to retrain my brain. And that was a huge surprise to me, that if I just gave my body time and I started to actually take the time to invest in what are the root issues for my health, for my family's health. Once we got to the root issues, it made all the difference. And that was the biggest surprise for me. Sorry. So, okay. I wanted to ask you, so I want to know what made you decide to share, and how long did it take you to decide I have got to talk about this? And what does that look like with you now, with a family of family of almost 7.
Wow. Almost need another vehicle. Oh my word. Well, you know what? I am just a very much, I like things that are fun. I like just to like talk to people. I like to have fun. I mean, that's just my personality. And so for me, it was just, I like what I was reading. I'm also kind of like, I mean, I can veer towards the nerd side a lot, and I loved what I was learning. I thought it was so cool. I had never heard about this kind of stuff before. I never heard about gut health. I never heard about candida and all these things, and I was just so excited. It was so fun to me because at that point, like thankfully I had never had any really major health issues, but different people in my family and close friends, as I was reading things, I was like, oh my gosh, like that they just talked about this. And I just read this testimony on this team page. And back then we got added to like all these team pages and stuff. And I would like read all these testimonies, and I was just like, had no idea of, I always say like the gold mine that I had touched, because so many people need what we have. And I still feel that passionate that at least the probiotic and the vitamin and the omega at least need to be on every person's and bathroom counter, bathroom cabinet. Like to me, those are just staples that everyone should be on now. And again, I don't have any medical background or medical history like Lisa does, but I just loved learning just natural ways to take care of your body and get it in the rhythm and the balance that God designed it to be in. I'm all about like your foods can heal you, but I also love cheese puffs. But like I just love like learning about all these good things that can not only, I mean, it's okay to have cheese puffs every now and then. It's okay to eat a cupcake at my little girl's birthday party. Like it says it's fine. And I think if I would tell people, you don't have to completely, you can if you need to completely change your lifestyle, but these are things that are supplementing and that literally every person needs. So to me, it was just, I just was excited and I liked what I was learning, and I just would share things that I was learning. It was a little, whether it was a little um, nugget about candida that again I never heard about, or whether it was a cool testimony about a friend that doesn't have migraines anymore, or whether it was about this little boy whose oncologist approved it for him, things like that. I just started sharing like that, and then I caught the vision of what it could be for us. And I think everybody has a different opinion of what, or a different goal of what their margin in their life should be. But I'm all about giving you that you need space to breathe. And in fact, I did a Bible study by Priscilla Shire. Put one in the comments if you love Priscilla Shire. I love her. I did a Bible study called Breathe, and it talked about that, having some margin in your life and talking about having some margin in your time, and the principle of Sabbath, honestly. And I'm like, people just are two fists full of their time, their energy, they're zapped. their finances are completely zapped. And so for me, I wanted some margin for just we didn't have any debt then other than our house, and I just wanted to like double our house payment. Honestly, we had done Dave Ramsey and we were just really passionate about that. Other people's having some margin might be paying for travel ball, that stuff's expensive, paying for dance lessons or summer camp, or getting a designer to come in and redo your kitchen. Like those, everybody's margin is different. And when I caught the vision of what it could do for from our margin and for other friends' margins by something that someone needed, it wasn't, I love candles, I love makeup, I love bags, I love shoes, I love all those things. But when it comes down to it, I knew this was not just like a luxury. This was stuff that people needed. And so I never have felt guilty about talking about it or sharing about it and getting reimbursed for sharing about it because I know it's a need. And I don't feel that weird, icky, salesy feeling that some people may have with direct sales or a stereotype like that, because I know that it helps people so much. So for me, I just I believed in the products. I believe what they could do for people now and in the long term. I love the saying that later is longer and prevention over prescription. And so that's kind of how that started for me. But now I never wanted a job. I always thought that I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And that is a job in and of itself, capital Job. But I have found though that by me doing this, now I've been doing this almost 6 years. And so I have grown a team. So I have a bit more under my belt. But to me, it's only helped me be a better mother and wife because it's helped me schedule my day so much better and not just winging it. And if I want to go to field day, or if I want to go to VBS, or if I want to go to these things, I just rearrange a little bit of my day. And it's not an 8 to 5. It's not, you have to be glued to your phone 6 hours a day. You control when your work hours are, and you control when you want to chat, you control when you want to vacation, you control those things. So I wish I would have known that in the beginning. I think I would have been much more open and bold about talking to people because I was so hesitant about not wanting a job. But it's such a joy, and it brings so many wonderful relationships like you, and so many people that just better me, that make me better. So if it's something that you're like, I don't know if I can really fit this in your schedule, if you're on Instagram for 15-20 minutes a day, then you can get your products covered. It really is that simple. We have a wonderful group of people so we have systems that we've gotten down pat, and we can help you do that. So, but speaking of that, Lisa, looking back, what would you tell people if they're hesitant about starting the products, or I don't want to be one of those people that does a business online. I don't want to share stuff. What would you say to someone that's hesitant about either one or both of those things?
So yeah, I actually have an answer for both because they are both, they were surprises for me, but also two things that I think it's really important. Like you had shared, it's really important for maybe people to maybe hear it presented a different way. So as far as being hesitant to start the products, I was so hesitant because I thought that I knew it all. And what I really had to do was just to humble myself, especially as a nurse. And I know that there are a lot of other nurses, doctors, pharmacists, scientists, surgeons, that really had to humble themselves and say, okay, I'm going to give it a try. And I didn't tell my coworkers for the longest time. But what was interesting was that, I work in OBGYN. And so we talk about bloating, and we talk about headaches, and we talk about, I got to go to the restroom, or I can't go to the restroom, or, whatever your health issue may be. We just are a little more open with our, physical symptoms more probably than maybe, say an office job. I don't know if that's good, bad, or ugly, but the good thing is that, after about 5 weeks, I stopped complaining. Every day I would complain about GI issues or headaches or tired or, having to go to my car and take a nap on my lunch break. And I quit complaining about that. And to this day, so it's been about 6 years, I guess. So right after you started, to this day, I don't complain about those things anymore. And not one person. I've been at where I'm at now for 13 years. And so they'll tell you, I mean, they'll attest to the fact that I don't complain about those things anymore. Now, that's not to say that that I have this, shield around me that nothing can, affect me and nothing will bother me. But if anything does come my way, if I get a touch of something, I sure don't have it doesn't knock me down like it used to. And I sure can get over it a lot faster with milder symptoms. But I would just say, as far as the products, I mean, why not try it with a 60-day money back guarantee? Why wouldn't you not try it, besides your pride, or assuming that it doesn't work? So I would just say, think outside of the box as far as imagining that these supplements, which are plants, which the Lord made for us, but they're put in such a way and with such a delivery system, so synergistically, that they have such a huge impact if we're consistent. But that's the issue. Again, we all want what we want right now. And so, instead of giving someone a prescription and saying, okay, you're going to feel better in about 30 minutes, or giving someone a shot and saying, okay, in a little bit, you're going to feel better. We have to say, we're getting to the root of this issue, and however many decades of damage that you've already done, we're going to undo that, but it could take some time. So if you're willing to put the time in, you're going to see some amazing results. So as far as the business goes, being hesitant to share. So, I went to nursing school, went through and got my bachelor's, and a lot of time, effort, and money that was put into that. And so I always just thought that was going to be my 9 to 5, even though, I've worked nights, weekends, holidays, take call, and I just thought that was, as a nurse, that's just, missing, Christmas Day, opening presents with the kids, or, missing, the play, that your kids are in, or missing field trips, and not being able to tuck your kids in at night. So I did that for a long time. And I didn't think that I was going to really miss it, but I did, and I thought that I was stuck, in a rut, and I couldn't get out because I was a nurse, and that's just, based on what department, or what specialty that you're in as a nurse or a doctor, whatever. That's just part of the job, and it's just par for the course. And so I when I had Luke, and he was so little, and I was missing so many things, and I realized that it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe I can think outside the box as far as products, but also as far as my job, because it's hard to, after you get a degree, to just say, I'm not doing it anymore, and I'm just gonna do social sharing or network marketing, whatever you want to call it. And it comes with such a stigma sometimes. And so I really had a preconceived notion of what I thought it was. And but it's the way that we do it, the way that our company does it, isn't icky, and it isn't it doesn't it makes me feel good. Like you said, it makes me feel good to share. But also, as a nurse, I am able to I've been able to cut down on my hours huge. And really, I could quit my job. I could, with the income that I make with Plexus, thankfully. But I love what I do. It is hard to just walk away, as a teacher, you love it. So you go to school to get your degree for it. It is hard. It's a big decision to make. And eventually I will make that, but I've cut down on my hours huge. So able to stay in a job that is very flexible hours. I don't miss the things that I used to with my kids. I'm home at night. I'm home on the weekends, and talk about baseball and ballet and paying for braces. We had to delay Luke getting braces for a year because we just could not afford it. And to some people, that's not a big deal, but I'm not about vanity. I don't want to teach my kids, about to be vain and to put their, all their stock in their looks. However, there comes a time where you want to be able to help your kids with, self-confidence. And so that was something that I was so glad, that we could be able to afford braces. We had to wait a year, but that's okay. It just made it all the more sweet whenever we were able to do that. And it didn't break the bank. And since then, been able to go on vacations and being able to, for some people that's no big deal, but for us, we couldn't go on, nice vacations, without putting it on credit. And so it's fun to be able to do that as a family. It's fun to be able to give more, and bless others more. The Lord calls us to do that as well. To whom much is given, much is expected. So we're so glad to be able to do that. And I think that this is a great platform to be able to do that. We both know people that have been able to use this financial blessing for adoptions, and to be able to open up homes for children in different countries. And just it's just an amazing platform. And so I would just say, humble yourself, and try to think outside the box as far as what the Lord may have for you. It doesn't always have to be a 9-to-5 job. The Lord doesn't always provide in that way. The Lord can provide in what could be considered an unconventional means of finances. And so that was this for us. And I hope I never have to look back. So did you have anything you wanted to add before we wrap it
No,
up?
you did. That was great. That was awesome. I think just if you have any questions, there's no crazy questions. There's no, if I ask this, they're going to hound me. No, like ask the person that invited you to the page or to this call.
Mhm.
Ask questions. Like, I think that's just the best thing, is to get clarity. And your questions may take months, it may take days for you to filter through, but yeah, just ask questions. So
Yes, and don't assume any kind of answers, as far as don't assume that your question has already been asked. I would ask it, like she said, and we're an open book. We're happy to share our stories with you, and other people on the page as well. So with that, thank you guys for joining us again for another Wellness Wednesday. These are so fun, and we just love sharing our hearts and sharing our stories with the blessings that we've been given. So any questions that you have, put them in the comments below, or just anything that you wanted to add. If you want to share your story, we'd love to hear it. So until next Wednesday, y'all have a good night, and we'll talk to y'all later.
hey.